mine. Burn bright, let the ember shine. You know I'm gonna get it every time. Champion, wearing the crown. I can see my name in lights. Spark from the heart and it shines so bright. Yeah, so let the whole world know. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. That intro doesn't work as much as it did at the beginning of this year. Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, just a bunch of people that aren't really impacting this team at all. This is such a different team than it was at the beginning of the year, and somehow we love it. And it's something that I don't think any of us would have expected. But we're going to be here for another Madden simulation this week. The Carolina Panthers travel to Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who will be Jamar Chaseless. Which is going to be a big help, but they still have some pretty incredible wide receivers between Boyd and Higgins. No, is it Higgins? Yeah,
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins and Rashad Higgins on our team threw me off there for a minute. And but outside of that, they're pretty healthy. They have one of their starting cornerbacks out, so we've got that updated. We're going to see what Madden thinks this team is going to be capable of doing against the Cincinnati Bengals. For the past 2 weeks, Madden has been pretty kind and let us win these. They were right about the Bucs. They were not right about the Atlanta Falcons game. So here we are as we try to muster another week of potential hope and optimism. But we're going to see how this thing plays out. Cody is going to be joining me as we continue this Madden simulation each week. And we're going to start trying to work in some new guests, maybe opposing views, things like that as we go. But we're about halfway through this year, and these things are going strong, and we appreciate every one of you guys tuning in. Cody Lack, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm sitting here chilling with you, doing the C3 Madden simulation. Currently watching my Clemson Tigers, trying not to be so painfully inept. That's not going great, so I'll keep y'all posted on some updates on that. But hey, man, it's a good night. Listen, you're right. It's a very different team than when that intro was made. No doubt about it. But I'm not going to lie to you, CK. I feel way better about this team right now than I did after the first 2 or 3 games of the season, man. I believe that the combination of Steve Wilkes and PJ Walker have given this team a pulse that I have not felt in a long time. And I like that, man. And I think our defense is playing okay. This is a bad division right now, and I'm interested to see if the Panthers can make some waves.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to have the season work out the way that it has. PJ Walker didn't even have a shot of being on this roster when we drafted Corral, with us having Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield in the backfield. But somehow PJ Walker came in here, gave us a spark that we haven't had in, again, far too long. And Madden has not been kind to PJ Walker. They have, unfortunately made him look like PJ Walking, as I've coined on a couple of these simulations. So, yeah. But we're gonna hopefully see what they're able to do here, and if we get the win, hopefully they're able to mimic that tomorrow against the Cincinnati Bengals, who are going to be coming in limping, similar to the Panthers. I know we can use that excuse for all the people we've faced and we've won, is that they've come into the bank or faced the Carolina Panthers limping but so has the Panthers, either without quarterbacks or without Jeremy Chin or JC Horn or any of these star players that can be difference makers in any of these games. So we're going to get this bad boy started up. Let me pull it in, and here we go.
Perfect.
All right. And we're going to advance to the game here as this thing is ready. And we're going to see what the Panthers are able to do here in Madden. And Cody, there's a large debate about what we should be doing. What do we want? What should we as fans be looking forward to? Should we look for the tank? Should we look for us to come out here and be competitive? What are your thoughts at this point in time, having lost one of the last 2 games that seemingly could change the way that this NFC South would have kind of shushed out, if you will?
Yeah, CK, I don't see a team in this division that I can comfortably say is better than us and a lot to win the NFC South. I look at the Saints. Their quarterback situation is very flimsy between Dalton and Jameis Winston. I mean, everybody knows what Tampa Bay and Tom Brady is going through. Their offense looks rather anemic. And then look, we went to a buzzer beater with the Atlanta Falcons and put up the most points that the Panthers have in what, almost 2 years now? Like, there's a pulse to this football team. And I really don't think that anyone should be looking at the draft. Why? You don't control where the Panthers are going to pick. And there's too much football left to be played for us to say we're going to be comfortably picking top 5 or outside the top 10. We just don't know yet, since the fact of the matter is we are still alive for the playoffs, whether people want to believe that or not. So my motto is the same motto that we all know and love, and that's to keep pounding. I'm going to put my fandom and all my effort and energy into supporting the Panthers, and I think they could pick up some WCK, specifically against this Cincinnati Bengals team that you alluded to is kind of busted up right now. They're not very healthy.
Sure. And as you guys saw there, Matt Rule is still a part of this team. I haven't, I'm sure there's a way to get him removed from the roster somehow, but I haven't dug too much into it. I should have the rosters pretty close to accurate based on the injury reports that I've read, and knowing that Jamar Chase is not going to be in there. And Cincinnati looks like they're going to be receiving the ball at the beginning of this half, giving a retooled offense in the Cincinnati Bengals here with Joe Burrow. They got their offensive line changed up a little bit. He's been sacked on an astronomical amount, but it doesn't feel like they've done a lot. This offensive line seems to be struggling from what we've seen this year so far.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow as a quarterback is something that we're really going to have to worry about no matter what. I mean, in the second year, he brought this Bengals to the Super Bowl, and they did not have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
So, we're really going to have to play good defense today. And just because they're missing Jamar Chase, our defensive backfield has to fly around, be fast, and make plays, and hopefully turn the football over.
Yep, and Mixon here has been a mixed bag as well, no pun intended, this year. He can be a pretty dominant runner, but there are times when he just doesn't seem to perform to the level that he can, and that can also be tied back to this offensive line's performance being a little bit less than ideal for this year coming into the 2022 season. The Cincinnati Bengals had one need alone, and that was to fix this offensive line, and they made a concerted effort to make that happen. But Joe Burrow is so explosive. He has such an incredible arm. If they give him any time in the backfield there, it's going to be a long day for this secondary, who's going to be Jeremy Chinless and Justin Burris-less.
Yeah. I'm not going to front, CK. I really like those black and orange outfits of the Bengals. I just think they look sick. But I like our black outfits too, man. And that's why I think a lot of Panther fans do.
Well, I think there's also a reason you like that black and orange. Who's your college team?
That's my Clemson Tigers, man. Now, they're white and orange, but yeah, man, I love their colors.
Oh, and it looks like Dante Jackson getting beat across the middle there. Big time gain. Joe Burrow gets a 21-yard completion out to Tyler Boyd, who takes it across midfield. Dante Jackson has been missing in action, Jackson, for many of these games towards the end of the game. What do you think is the cause? Because many people are alluding to the fact that it's only when he gets beat that you see him get injured.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know, man. That's kind of been a nagging thing with Dante Jackson, is that he does kind of have an injury history. Well, not kind of. He really has an injury history. I mean, there are times when he has some good plays, some big-time turnovers, but then he just gets beat in a weird fashion that has you like, Dante, what were you thinking, man?
Right.
It's like no diligence. I don't know. To me, our defensive backs go as our front seven does. If our front seven is able to stop the run and get enough pressure, then everything just seems to kind of fall into place in our defensive backfield.
Which is a big argument, and let me call this here. Joe Burrow takes the snap out of the shotgun, misses his intended receiver there, brings up a 3rd and 5, but when you think about this defense, you talk about the front seven, and one of the things that we've noticed this year is there's not a lot of of pressure outside of maybe Brian Burns. Derek Brown has been known to stuff the run, but not so much a pass rusher as Joe Burrow finds his guy, gets it across the 35-yard line, brings up another set of downs as they get a first down on that. But that brings the argument, and that's where many fans have been discussing the idea of, if we have an opportunity to take a quarterback, maybe foregoing that opportunity for a defensive end who can complement rather a guy like Brian Burns. We missed a little bit of benefit of Bradley Chubb. He was a little too expensive in my mind for a first round, but when you're Miami and you have San Francisco's first round draft pick, doesn't matter as much. So Joe Burrow, play action, finds his guy across the middle again. Is that Action Jackson again who's letting this?
T. Higgins.
That was T. Higgins, but was that over top of Action Jackson?
I believe so, man.
It might have been Henderson. Let's see. Yeah, it was Henderson. But I mean, again, Madden also not big fan of Henderson. Last week, he was actually our highest rated player out of that weekly performance. I think many people would argue that he was maybe not the highest rated player, but PFF definitely had him listed pretty high on that list.
Yeah, PFF, some people consider them the Bible of football analytics. Oh, nice play. JC Horn coming like a bat out of hell, sealing off that sideline. I love that, man. Absolutely.
That was a hard hit, and that was mixed with Wilson, I believe. Wilson was in there with him to take that run play down just right back at the line of scrimmage. And Joe Burrow back down under center here, mixing in the backfield. And they're 2nd and 10 here. And they're going to do a little sweep, and they find it. Who was that? 25. That was Littleton. No, that's Woods. He was able to identify that play pretty quickly and get that tackle with only a short 4-yard gain, brings it to 3rd and 6 as the Bengals are knocking on the door of the Panthers end zone, hoping to get a touchdown to start this game off with us with our tail between our legs.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was a good defensive play. They're driving to the end zone, but, man, if we can continue to play diligent football, it's a big 3rd down.
Big 3rd down, and they motion mixing out of the backfield. So Joe Burrow going to be finding his guy across the middle, and he gets the touchdown. Easy play. The secondary not living up to the hype that we've had so far this year, at least here in Madden. And this is going to give Carolina's offense, led by P.J. Walker, an opportunity to come out here and show the world that he can be the guy. This is a big audition for P.J. Walker, whether it be in Carolina blue or in some other uniform. He is going to be a big opportunity. He's going to have a big opportunity to be either a highly paid backup or a starting quarterback somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, really, like I said, very similar to Steve Wilkes. This is an audition season for him. And he's a free agent going into this year as well. So he has an opportunity to really play himself into a good position and a nice new contract. Look, let me tell you, I would have no problem with, and a lot of people know my opinion if you're a fan of C3. You know, I'm a big proponent of building your team through the draft and seeing what you have in a quarterback like Matt Corral, and let P.J. Walker be the perfect bridge since he's able to make all the throws. DJ Moore exists in our offense now because of P.J. Walker. Sometimes you need that quarterback change, as my Clemson Tigers start Cade Klubnik for the first time, dude. You just need a spark, and PJ has provided it to the Clemson or to the Carolina Panther offense part.
Yeah, and he's going to have an opportunity here facing a bit of a hobbled Bengals defense, who is not as highly touted as they were last year, as they were considered one of the better defenses in the league. This year been slightly disappointing. Again, they have many of their starters out either for the season or for an extended period of time. But PJ Walker certainly doing more for this team than I think we've seen Baker or Sam do in the past, entire year, if you will. PJ Walker, big shoes to fill, but if he can make it happen, I think many people are willing to move forward with him, like you said, as a bridge guy. Or again, the guy is young. We're not talking about a guy who's 15 years in the league and whatnot. He's still learning. He's only got a few starts under his belt. So he has an opportunity to really be something. He has all all the attributes you want out of a guy like that. It's just a matter of putting it all together upstairs, and I think he's been doing a pretty good job the last couple of weeks of that. And that is he should be out. Is that Hubbard? Yeah, I put him out. I don't know why they've got him in there. But nonetheless, Chuba Hubbard down for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, I mean, Chuba's not also playing this week, so that's a little inaccurate. But I mean, this offensive line, they've been one of the better parts of the football team. I don't necessarily know that Madden agrees, but we'll see. I mean, we've been able to field a competent passing attack and running the football.
Yeah, it's been an interesting scenario here. TMJ, Terrace Marshall Jr. has actually been a big part of this offense the last week, and so they're hoping to see him get more involved this week as he's going against some of his old alma mater with Joe Burrow being a LSU grad there as well, a part of that highly touted offense that happened back in 2018 when that Bengals team or that LSU team was so incredible. 2019 maybe.
Yeah.
And again, ugly overthrow by PJ Walker brings up a 4th and 3. They're going to probably bring up Hecker to give the ball back to the Bengals with great field position, I would imagine. And Joe Burrow is going to be getting to work once more. I doubt that they're going to keep PJ Walker in here. This is probably just a little shortcut there. Yeah, there we go. Hecker's in the building now. And off it goes. High booming kick, and he doesn't call for the fair catch as CJ Henderson's able to break a block and get there for no gain. The Bengals are going to take over on the 25-yard line and hope that they can make this a 2-possession game early on in this first quarter, as the Panthers were not able to move the ball nearly as well as they were hoping.
Hey, how about this, CK? If PJ has another great performance against Cincinnati, we got to bump up his stats next time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, if he did what he did last week, over 300 yards, I mean, that I don't think Madden's ever going to predict him for that.
Sure. And I think they've got him rated so we have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. PJ Walker is at the bottom of the ratings. He's got Corral above them, which is an interesting decision, by the way, to have Corral above PJ Walker. And you have Sam Darnold and then Baker Mayfield as the top on the list of quarterbacks in our quarterback room, and that's per rating by Madden. So not super enthusiastic about their decision making there. And
no pass rush.
Wow, just mossed Dante Jackson, I believe there. Yep. That's one of the things you worry about when you have a shorter guy going up against some of these big-bodied receivers, being able to just go up and pick the ball up over top of them, and that's what happened there. Dante Jackson lost the ball, and that was a beautiful throw by Joe Burrow there.
Yeah, and that was a great play by the receiver to go up and get it too, Look, man, no matter what Madden ends up doing tonight, I'm believing in our team more than Madden does in us, Shout out to John Jenkins. He says, witness the Walker wonder. That's his guy. He said, we should turn him up to 99. That would be an accurate representation of his talent. Oh, too much time.
Let him escape the pocket. No edge control there by the defensive end, setting the edge. And it looks like they were giving these guys a little bit too much cushion as well. You'd like to see these cornerbacks and linebackers getting up and getting some press man on these guys, getting some contact early, not letting them sit down in those zones so easily. And that's what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, our defense has to be able to do more than this, and they're just not giving us a consistent pass rush.
It looks like a miscommunication there. Yeah, that looked like a miscommunication. Maybe somebody ran the wrong route, or Joe Burrow just was expecting this guy to be somewhere that he wasn't. Big 3rd down play here as they are hoping to stop them with just a field goal attempt. But with 1 yard to go, it doesn't look promising, especially if they get the ball to that beast, Joe Mixon, who has been known to power through the center of these these defensive lines as of late. And they're going to do an edge.
Wow.
Interesting. A sweep over there to the left side, and Corey Littleton was able to get him down with only a 5-yard gain, but it was enough to move the sticks. A new set of downs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so rough, man. You know, this is also, I know it's just Madden we're talking about here, but that's why, to me, a player like Brandon Smith, who runs a 4.3 something at 240 pounds, his ability to seal off the sidelines with that speed, that's so necessary on plays like this. You have to have that.
You got to wonder what that decision is to keep him out of the game and in favor of somebody like Damian Wilson or whatnot. What is it that they're seeing that Brandon Smith is not able to accomplish? And look at that play by Shaq Thompson, stopping him with a 2-yard loss, breaking free of that guard or of that block there.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the formula for him right now.
Yeah, just set the edge, and they're not running up the middle very much. That could be a little bit of the fault of Derek Brown, as he's been stuffing those runs as of late. Eating up those run lanes is exactly why we drafted him, to be quite honest. He's been coming in clutch this year, and here in Madden, they seem to be afraid of that decision making.
Yeah, they're definitely too much time, no pressure at all.
No pressure, but they're able to take him down with no gain. Lucky to get away with a little bit of a reception there to Hayden Hurst, as Brian Burns was almost home, and king of almost here in Madden, it seems, as well.
Oh no, the shit talkers are out in effect in the chat. Everybody's caught wind that my Tigers are down 21-0. Dude, it's bad right now. I know. Y'all keep talking shit. The game's not over, but Kev, maybe send me your fucking Cash App or PayPal or whatever.
Unfortunate circumstance for the Clemson Tigers. Hopefully the Panthers are able to avoid such a massacre tomorrow. Here they've got the Bengals very likely going up another 3 points here, bringing it to 10-0. As the Panthers defense have not been able to do much to slow down this Bengals offense. They're lucky to get off the field here with just 3 points.
Yeah, but now we have to do something with it, you know? We don't have a lot of pass rush, at least by Madden's estimation. So now PJ Walker,
they're going for this. That's an interesting decision, but one that I respect, because and he drops it. It's a turnover on downs. The Panthers, with Shaq Thompson in coverage there, were able to stop the conversion and force the incompletion. That was in his hands, too. Lucky that Shaq Thompson was able to stop that. Oh, that was CJ Henderson. My apologies.
Yeah,
PJ Walker getting another opportunity here.
What are you thinking about PJ on this drive? What are you hoping to see?
You're hoping that he is a little bit better with the decision making, a little bit quicker with his mental as well, reading this defense and getting the ball out quickly. But mainly, I think we need to see him do what he's done best, and that is get out of the pocket and get the ball down the field.
It seems like a pretty simple formula.
It seems to be, the way that we've been successful here as of late, and he gets it out. And luckily, is that Terrace Marshall Jr.? He's been involved early on so far. 2 receptions for 15 yards. And last week, he had career highs in snap counts, receiving yards, and receptions. And maybe we're going to start to see an increased workload for a guy like TMJ.
I hope so, man. I mean, he's a player that we have seen a lot more from.
Ooh, batted passes, an all too familiar thing we've seen as Panthers fans. Unfortunately, this time it wasn't Baker Mayfield, but PJ Walker getting that batted pass. Big arms by those defensive linemen, getting the hands up and knocking those ball back. PJ single out in the backfield by himself, no backer, so they're going to get it out quick with nobody there. It looks like TMJ ran the wrong route. It looked like he was expecting him to stop right there to try to get that quick out to TMJ, and that was just a go route for him in his mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just sucks because this looks like a Baker Mayfield offense, and I feel like we've come a long way since then. Our offense is no longer
Ooh,
quite this bad.
CJ Henderson on the special teams Madden simulation has been actually quite impressive. Madden has been doing PJ wrong in a lot of ways this year. And in one way, they had him rushing, I think, against the Tampa Bay Bucks in that simulation. They had him pulling the ball down to run a lot. And when he would, he was just jogging. It wasn't even like a run. It was just like a really slow jog. And that was a nice little play by CJ Henderson, again, dropping him for a no gainer there. But and it allowed me to coin the phrase PJ walking because he just looked like he was just jogging with no real urgency, trying to get down the field and get first downs. But it was working. They were getting the yards that they needed. But they've been doing him wrong all year, and this looks like it's no different.
Yeah. Hey, to Twan Don in the chat talking trash, just remember, my team beat your team, and yours is 5-3, bro. So remember that no matter what. Let's go, baby. Now let's see if Brian Burns can finally get some pressure.
Oh, intercepted by... Oh, did he get it? He did. CJ Henderson is the MVP of this game so far. Special teams and defense. He got the sole interception last week as well. That would have sealed the victory if we had a kicker that was able to actually get the ball through the uprights. Almost a broken neck there.
Dude, it was very similar to what CJ did last week. It was just a bit of an overthrown football, and he just capitalizes on it.
Yeah, incredible play last week against going up against Demir Bird, who has been known to be able to put the burners on. The fact CJ Henderson stuck with him on a route like that's quite impressive.
Yeah, and now listen, points off of turnovers. It's so important. We have to respond now and put some points on the board.
Yeah, we got to respond. We got to get PJ Walker, get the ball out quick, get it across the middle. Unfortunately, misses his guy. That was to DJ Moore. PJ now 2 for 6. Not an impressive stat line, but that brings up a 2nd and 10, and the Panthers still have plenty enough time to try to make this happen.
Yeah, we have time, and we have the playmakers. We just need to get the ball to them.
And they've thrown the ball a lot. There hasn't been a lot of run plays here as he gets the ball over to Chuba, who's pushing, makes it to the first down marker. Chuba, who's not going to be in the game tomorrow, by the way.
Well, for this Madden sim, we can let it.
We'll let him stay in here just for moral support. But I did try to remove him, but it didn't seem to take. And PJ under center, Chuba Hubbard in the backfield again. He's going to get the ball out quick to Ian Thomas, who starts to run the wrong direction.
Big Jordan makes a point. If we put Chuba in, we should put Matt Corral in this perfect little Panther universe that we're living in.
Right. All right, 2nd and 7. And PJ Walker just gonna be, see what I mean by the walking? He just walks right through the middle of the defensive line. Luckily, nobody stuck their arm out and got a tackle for a loss there. It brings up a 3rd and 3, but they are knocking on the door here. One way or another, it looks like they're going to be coming away with points here if they make the decision to go for it. Or if they can get the first down here, ideally, they'll try to get the touchdown and tie this game up. Chuba, not with a lot of burst here, but he finds his way to get around the edge. He might make it. Oh, he gets it down to the 2-yard line. And unfortunately, not a touchdown, but a big-time play from a guy who should have a little more explosive action than that. And he was just jogging again.
I had to mute my microphone, dude, because I had to cuss real loud, you know? Sometimes you just got to say cuss words, you know? So I felt the need to do that. Oh, dude, did something ever happen, bro?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that's a pick 6 for Notre Dame.
Oh, so it's 28-0 now, or?
It is indeed.
Ugh. Yikes.
Yo, Twan, shut up. Get your ass out of my chat room.
Oh, and he almost makes it. If he could have reached his hand out across the goal line, that would have a big time play, but he gets stopped short at the 1 yard line. Looks like maybe inches to go. And this is the type of moment that you miss a guy like Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the shotgun, interesting decision here. They're going to hand it off. Chuba is not going to get there.
Oh, run forward, man.
He's got such a slow burst. Madden does not like him for some reason.
Dude.
All right. It looks like it's going to be empty backfield here. PJ Walker scanning the field, reading this defense. Gets the ball across the middle to Ian Thomas. No, they didn't get it. Ian Thomas drops the ball there.
Yeah, Madden just tells us every week that they think that we're trash. You know, that's a tough one, man. That's
in his hands and knocked free. You wonder if they're going to go for it here, but I guess that they're going to take the points as opposed to try. Nope, they're going to go for it. This could be a big time play if they're able to make this happen. It's a handoff to Chuba, who's not. He reaches across the goal line. No, he reached. Did you see that?
Oh, dude, the referees are cheating us, man.
Dude, he got that touchdown. Watch this. He reached. Oh, maybe they're saying he had his knee down there. Let's see if they're going to review that. Doesn't look like they're going to.
Damn it,
they're going to give them a turnover on downs, and this defense is going to have to go to work again. 1st and 10 from the 1 yard line as the Panthers weren't able to punch it in. Interesting decision to go for the runs multiple times out of the shotgun. That's not ideal for an offense on goal line. Interesting choice there. You got to imagine this is a run, mixing right up the middle. Don't keep this. And it is, and he gets a little bit of yardage, gives them some breathing room. It brings up a 2nd and 6. Unfortunate. That looked like it was a touchdown to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many plays that I feel like could go back to us, but they just don't, man. Madden doesn't
Madden is interesting. 2nd and 6. Mixon out of the backfield. He's going to find this guy across the middle again. And they've been working that middle of the field against those linebackers, and it's been working well today. 151 total yards already, and they're not even done with the first half here.
Yeah, I mean, our defensive front 7, I feel like, is one of the best parts of our team. And Madden, it's just so rough that Madden doesn't agree with us.
Yeah, they don't agree, and quite honestly, they think it's a liability more so than anything. And they're just Tyler Boyd, 4 receptions for 50 yards, eating up this again these linebackers, and that's something that I think we can probably agree with. The linebacking core has left a lot to be desired. It's one of the more thin areas on our defense, but many might look at it as a strength because of a guy like Shaq Thompson. But I think many who look at Shaq Thompson's play, you would probably say that maybe not necessarily an asset to a team. He's not been a liability, but he has not been the guy who's holding this team together. It feels we're hoping that he's able to be that guy, but so far he hasn't been a breakout player. He's not been a guy that people are looking at as being a game changer. When he wasn't in the game beginning of this year, it didn't feel like it was a big difference that we saw when he came back. And again, eating across the middle here. Hayden Hurst, who should be familiar to us. He played a little bit of time in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, this is a very close game right now, man.
Well, it doesn't feel close. It feels like this offense can't do anything, and the defense has been helping a little bit. But this offense seems to be able to move any direction that it wants with no issues there. But I think Dante Jackson breaking up a pass right there, big time play that could have been another chunk yardage situation there, but he's able to stop it short and brings up a 2nd and 10.
Twan, you think I'm not watching the game, bro? Of course I'm watching the damn game. Watch your game. What, is Miami not slapping y'all right now? Our offense isn't good this year, man. We don't have the receivers and these quarterbacks, man. Cade's going to need a little while to build up some success. But DJ, man, he keeps on choking these big moments. But I don't know what's worse, Clemson's offense or what Madden thinks the middle of our defense is.
Missing Chin bad. I think we can all agree with that. Chin is a person who brings plenty of speed, a lot of strength and technicality to this defense, but it has been missing. And I think the defense has held together pretty good with that next man up mentality, but it has been big time issues when it comes to plays like that, where you wish that there were a complete team. And Dante Jackson, again, who has been a guy who is about 50-50. Either he is coming in here making big time plays, or he is getting burnt down the field and then getting injured on the next play. Many people want to defend him. I've always been a skeptic of Dante Jackson. I'll appreciate him when he plays well, when he has the energy, when he has the leadership mentality. But I think we can all agree that when it's bad, it's bad. And he just mossed him again. And that was maybe CJ Henderson. Tyler Boyd gets them another touchdown. And that is not ideal going into the close to second half here. That was CJ Henderson, who just kept his eyes looking at the receiver and not turning his head to play the ball. Not sure he would have had much of an option there anyway, but Tyler Boyd, big time plays, missing Jamar Chase. Is going to need them guys to step up, and they have so far this in this simulation.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in the game, but our offense has to do something, man. Yeah, I definitely think we need to bump up PJ next time, because this offense is better than this. Like, I just really think that we are. And I think that you see that in DJ Moore's stats and what he's been able to do recently. So,
yeah, I did have Foreman as the starter. Somehow it didn't take. Madden has been less than ideal. Hit the like button. Absolutely. Hit the like button. Hit that follow, subscribe, notify button, whatever you got to do to try to keep up to date with what C3's got going on. We plan on continuing to put out content week over week, day after day. And to fill your weeks with enough content that are more Panther related than anything. And nice little run back there by Shy Smith, gets it up to the 29-yard line. And Shy last week actually shined a little more outside of maybe some issues, but he was able to get some explosive run backs from the punt returns and whatnot. Not so much on the offense, but special teams. He's been a little bit more of a asset that at least last week. Previously, we would probably disagree with that.
Yeah. By the way, touchdown, Clemson. Be back in the game, baby. 7-28. Let's go.
How much time is left on that?
I think there's about 10 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's an uphill climb, no doubt.
DJ misses Chenault.
Okay, guess what, bro? We got a brand new member.
Ooh, we've got a new member. I'd like to welcome Fade to X to the C3 Superfan Club. Thank you for hitting that subscribe, hitting that join button, and supporting the podcast. And welcome to the club. And PJ Walker, he's able to, he fumbles it on the 40, and they're going to run it back. And I don't think anybody's going to stop him. That's going to be a touchdown.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, man. Nobody hit that join anymore, please.
No,
kidding.
no.
Just kidding.
Jordan, for
It's
us,
not your fault, Fade.
we need all the moral support that we can get. Please help us.
Man, unfortunate way for this game to start out here. Panthers are going to be playing from a pretty big deficit. It's going to be hard to come back from this. If they can score here before the half and then get the ball back at the beginning of the second half, they've got a shot if they can make some things happen. But right now, it is looking pretty bleak for an offense that has been anemic before, and it feels like it has been on this drive so far, or on this game so far.
Man, could you imagine what a roller coaster of emotion if the Panthers did look like this tomorrow?
Dude, I
Just
don't even
bad
know
on
what to
top
think.
of bad.
If they look bad on top of bad, you've got to imagine it is the season to forget again. And all the talk about PJ Walker being the guy, you got to put it to bed.
Oh, no, Panther Pickle. He said, there you go. Madden proves it. PJ will suck soon. No! Panther Pickle, no! We're not going to let our college teams today turn us into jaded fans. We're not going to do it. Clemson's in right now. Tennessee lost real bad to Georgia. We are not going to become jaded fans. I refuse. By the way, Fade, he said as soon as he joined, that's what happens. He's like, dang.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just poor timing. That's bad. It's a coincidence. Fade, you had nothing to do with that. That was everything to do with Madden thinking that PJ Walker is absolute garbage.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think we gotta bump him up, man.
Got to bump him up. I want to keep it as close to what Madden expects, but at this point, you gotta be, especially if he comes in tomorrow and he just blows it out of the water.
But you know what, CK? It's kind of Madden's fault. The fact that they won't let you update this team according to how it is, like they're still giving PJ the backup of backup numbers, like
yeah,
they're not projecting him to have the kind of crazy turnaround season they're having right now. But to be fair, he did beat Tampa and Atlanta in the last Sims you did, right?
Yeah, he beat Atlanta last week and he beat Tampa Bay the week before.
Yeah.
And last week he didn't look bad. He looked pretty efficient. So still had some issues with the where they had him overthrowing some guys and missing some easy layup throws. PJ Walker holding onto the ball that time. 3rd and 3 here. That's going to take us into the 2-minute warning. The Panthers are hoping to get something on the board here before the half, because going into this half 21-0 is not going to bring a lot of confidence to this team as they come out for the beginning of the second half.
Yeah. Hey, how about this? Here's a question from Shane Reed on Facebook. He says, do you guys think our D-line can get home? Cincinnati has a bad O-line. What did you say, CK?
I think they can, but the problem is I think that I almost wonder if you have to. I don't know if you guys remember when Steve Wilkes was the defensive coordinator. Oh no, bad situation. Almost went to worse there. 4th and 3. They're going to have to punt it here. You cannot give the ball back to the Cincinnati Bengals this close to the goal line, making it a 4-possession game. But I think if you guys remember, Steve Wilkes being the defensive coordinator was a blitz-happy defensive coordinator. I could see them trying to implement that again this year or this week. But especially if our front four can't seem to get home with an offensive line that's been underperforming. And what a stop. Great play. CJ Henderson is just finding a way to get there every single time.
That he is. Oh.
I'm sure there's probably some way that I can get Matt Rule off of the Panthers. I just haven't looked into it. I get so focused on the roster, I forget that Matt Rule is the coach in Madden still, and so I haven't. That could be on me. I think there's probably ways to do that.
They don't even have a character model for Steve Wilkes.
That would be interesting if they didn't.
Now, he was the head coach
That's what I'm
to start
saying.
the
Like he was.
season of the Cardinals a few years ago.
Ooh. All right. Tackled them in bounds. They're going to force them to have to play hurry up to try to get the ball down the field here.
Oh.
Sounds like something happened there in that Clemson game.
Yeah, man. Now Notre Dame's just running all over us. That's unfortunate.
All right. Minute and 25 seconds left in the game. Cincinnati with all their timeouts, just finding wide receivers across the middle with nobody on them, and gets a big gain there, gets it up to the 36-yard line with a minute and 12 seconds left as that clock is continuing to run down. Guessing they're going to be playing some hurry up here.
Absolutely.
Less than a minute to go. Joe Burrow with nobody stopping him from running there, and he goes for the slide inbounds, gets the timeout, and that's going to bring up a second and probably a second or third or fourth there. And second 3, yep. 54 seconds left in the game. Knocking on midfield's door there, hoping that they can score again here before half and make this a heck of a different ball game.
Yeah, well, 1-2 brings up a great point. We're getting shut out. It's just like our offense is anemic. They have nothing. And it kind of seems like the old Panthers. Our defense is always on the field because the offense really can't do much.
They're almost at midfield here. Got their first. They got a new set of downs here. One timeout left. 49 seconds. The defense is just hoping to tackle them in bounds here. Keep that clock rolling. Hopefully they can get home here. Brian Burns on the edge and somehow doesn't seem to break these. And they do get home. YGM gets there, gets a sack for a 7-yard loss there, and then talks some crap to Joe Burrow. Lucky he's not drawing a flag there with that.
You know, Josh in the chat room did say that the referees were going to play a part in this game. It'll be interesting to see going forward if that really is real. By the way, LSU is up over Alabama. Something else that happened, CK, is a lot of the top quarterbacks today either aren't or didn't have a great game. CJ Stroud didn't look very impressive. Bryce Young is having a difficult time with LSU. Will Levis had 3 touchdowns, but
fumble return. JC Horn. He's going to take it to the house.
Oh, JC Horn. At the end of the free throw, remember, I predicted 2. I said a pick 6 from JC Horn, but I'll take a fumble recovery all day, baby.
I think PJ Walker will take a fumble recovery, taking it to the house there as well, as the Panthers find a way to stay in this game when they shouldn't be. Lucky decision making. Lucky that he was there to pick the ball up, and nobody could stop him from making it to the end zone. With 14 seconds left to go in the half, that changes the entire way that this team is going to be feeling coming out of the half, because they're going to get the ball back at the beginning of the second half, and that can make this a 1-possession game if they play their cards right.
Yeah, man. Oh.
And he makes it.
Thank goodness. By the way, Twan, my team's still going to be in the ACC championship. Yours won't, so see yourself out, you know what I'm saying? What's even worse is that I owe White $20. How dare he make predictions born of hate,
what just
spite,
happened?
And jealousy.
Uh-oh.
Disgusting.
Sorry, guys. My game is glitching out a little bit.
At least it's entertaining.
There we go.
By the way, 74 people watching. If you enjoy the content, hit that like, hit that subscribe. C3 hanging out on a Saturday night doing a Madden sim. Y'all are listening to me be depressed about my Clemson Tigers. Hey, man, you're getting a show, you know? Hit that like.
Force the fumble here. Nope. That would be incredible. 10 seconds left. You got to think the Bengals are just going to kneel it out, let this go into the second half, so they don't make any major mistakes here. That was a game-changing mistake that was made there with 14 seconds left to go in the half, as J.C. Horn coming in clutch, knocked out by somebody else, maybe Luvu. I couldn't tell who that was that knocked that ball out, but there were 4 Panthers in the area, and they were able to make something happen. Mixon just running down the field, waiting for somebody to contact him. And they're going to go timeout here and maybe go for one last bomb now that they have a little bit better field position. Could be an opportunity for another run back if they're able to intercept this. Interesting decision to let that to take that time out here. I guess you have nothing to lose. You got to imagine it's just going to hand the ball off. They did, and Mixon just walks through the line there.
No resistance in the middle.
And that's going to take us into the second half. That's halftime. Matt Rule there for moral support for this team as they are down 21-7. They will be getting the ball back at the beginning of the second half, but overall, the defense has kept them in here. PJ Walker largely disappointing so far, along with a couple of other players such as Chuba Hubbard, who shouldn't be playing tomorrow, looking quite slow and as though he's not really ready to play some football. But Joe Burrow looking sharp as all, outside of a few mistakes. That fumble on him, an incredible interception by CJ Henderson. And outside of those mistakes, he's been pretty sharp, getting the ball moving down the field, finding his receivers across the middle. And it's very, very clear that they have a poor opinion of our safeties and linebackers.
Man, this is a pretty humiliating attempt by the Panthers. I don't know. I really do think that we have a chance tomorrow, CK. I'm not going to let this Madden simulation get me down, man. I think that we have a good chance. I think our defense can actually do something, you know?
Yeah. All right. That was a short. Oh, he pushes it across the 30 to the 33. Shi Smith getting a more positive yards after the contact there. I could see tomorrow going either way. I don't know that it's going to be a close game. I predicted that it was going to be a low-scoring affair. I feel like it's one of those types of games where it's going to be a blowout, either for us or against us. And I have a sinking suspicion that it's not going to be as close as I had initially anticipated. PJ Walker across the middle finds DJ Moore for the first time this game, gets it up to the 47-yard line. A sharp bullet across the middle gets it to his number one wide receiver.
That's what we got to do, man. I mean, get the ball into our play, man.
14-yard gain. Eli Apple was on him there. Former Carolina Panther, if you want to call him that, didn't really do much for us in his short stint here, but maybe a bigger problem with Matt Rule than anybody else. So we'll see what this game, what he's able to accomplish tomorrow against PJ Walker. But that was somehow a run that I thought was going to be stopped well short, but it was a 2nd and 6 or 4-yard gain, so it brings up 2nd and 6 here. PJ Walker under center. Dropping back, looking, scanning, finds his guy across the middle, and he's able to get another first down as he gets Tommy Tremble involved. Or no, that was Terrace Marshall Jr. again, who's been a large portion of the offense so far. That's 28 yards out of the little over 100 yards we've had so far this game.
Man, dude.
All right, PJ dropping back again. Finds TMJ again for another 9-yard gain. And the offense not looking so anemic anymore. getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers is TMJ finally getting involved, and you're hoping that he's able to do something more than he's been able to do the past year, as he last week showed some promise. And Chuba finds another empty. Oh, that was a tackle out of bounds. Surprising that didn't draw a flag, but gets it all the way down to the 12-yard line. Chuba Hubbard gets it into the red zone, and the Panthers are knocking on the door again, making this a game that we thought was not even possible.
Damian Mui, why don't be a dick, man? Either participate in the chat or don't. You know what I mean?
All right, PJ taking the snap again, putting it in his hands. He's going to run it. What? He just zigzagging, hoping that serpentine, hoping nobody gets a snipe on him. He's able to get another 3 yards out of that one. Takes it down to the 9-yard line of the Carolina Panthers, or of the Bengals. All right, PJ under center. Ricci as the fullback in this situation. They're going to hand it to Chuba Hubbard, who's going to be eaten up with a loss on that one. 3rd and 8. You got to get a touchdown here to make this game feel like it's still within reach. PJ Walker scanning. He's going to run for it. He's going to get it. He gets the touchdown. As he scrambles up the middle. And that is a big play coming out of the half. And finally, this offense is able to put together a drive that's pretty impressive. And they make this a 1-possession lead now. Much more manageable. We have found the problem. Rat Mule is still in the game. And that's on me.
Tough.
I would think. I'm assuming there's a way you can remove the coach or change the coach out. I don't know that there's a Steve Wilkes model, but we can certainly try to create one, I'm assuming. Maybe. And Pinheiro pushes it down the middle, gets another point to add that, make that score 21-14. Carolina Panthers closing the gap very quickly in a game that looked like it was out of reach early on in this.
Yeah, man. I mean, do you think we can pull it out?
I think we can. I think this defense can come out here, get some pressure, but it seems as though either the Bengals offense is humming or they're turning the ball over. One of the two. There's not really, just hasn't seemed to be a in between. They're moving the ball or they're giving it back to us. There hasn't been, I don't think they've punted once yet.
Yeah, by the way, I switched off the Clemson game. Now I'm just watching Alabama LSU. There's almost no point anymore.
All right, and they're going to take this out, and they're going to stop him right as he crosses the 25-yard line to the 26. The Bengals will be starting with decent field position, a little bit better than the touchback that would have ensued had they kneeled it there. But Joe Mixon having a bit of a game after those 2 big runs at the end of the first half. Outside of that, he's been largely bottled up.
I mean, we're doing what we need to do. I agree.
Joe Mixon
no more kicks.
Running right through the middle of that defensive line again for a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3. They've got 300 yards on the Panthers defense that has been considered one of the better ones in the league. Last week, they gave up 30 points. Many people are saying they gave up 37 points. I think we all can agree they only gave up 30 because of that pick six. But still 30, not great to have that many points put up on your own offense or on your defense.
Ooh. Oh, let me tell you, Jaden Daniels from LSU, he's a playmaker. Speaking of LSU, look at Joe Burrow.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Nice on the throw pass to T. Higgins, getting the ball right in his breadbasket. That's the reason he was drafted number 1 overall.
Gets it across midfield. Again, the Bengals find a way to move it. It's just whether they make the smart decisions, keep the ball in the hands of their own receivers as opposed to the defense's hands. And Joe Burrow's doing a pretty good job so far on this drive of keeping this ball on their side of the field here. Joe Burrow out of the shotgun, looking, scanning, finds another guy across the middle. Xavier Woods in coverage, gets another first down to the 35 of the Carolina Panthers, and they are not showing much along the lines of slowing down when it comes to passing the ball on this defense. I believe that they're going to be a little more timid to throw against this secondary tomorrow, but we're going to see how they what their opinion is of this secondary when they start. Ooh, oh gosh, wow! Just trucked CJ Henderson for a 9-yard gain. Joe Mixon on that run. Corey Littleton there to stop him, just shy of a first down marker. But wow, Henderson having a game and also having a lot of big blunders. That's unfortunately one of those things you hope not to see on a highlight reel. Another handoff to Mixon. Nope, it's a play action pass. It looks like they're going to have all day to throw it, and he finds this guy on the boundary again. Is that another Tyler Boyd showing, or T. Higgins rather? And they're just moving this ball with little effort on their part.
You know, another way that Madden doesn't know how good we are is that Derek Brown, he would not let that much of a pocket be available to. Derek Brown has really turned it on these past couple games, and I think he's had his best performances as an NFL player. I mean, he's really playing great, and there's just none of that from Derek Brown in the simulation.
Yeah, that's it's been not much. The secondary has been the only star so far, and they're going to give that touchdown to him, but they didn't give it to Chuba Hubbard in that first quarter. Are you kidding me right now? That's Madden is such garbage. Madden is such garbage.
We need another NFL 2K, man. We need it.
Madden has been one of the most disappointing franchises, I think. Again, they have been the exact same game. Yeah. They're basically like iPhone, right? They do the exact same thing every year, and they might change one thing, give it a different name, and make it seem like they've done something different. And here they are, just absolutely. This field sense feels completely. And there we go. He's having an incredible.
I'm drunk, dude.
Yeah, so is the cameraman here.
Is he having a seizure?
I think so. I think we need to check on that cameraman. Paul, can you go check on Frank and see what happened? We need to make sure that he's all right. It looked like he had a seizure, maybe a stroke. Can someone go check out Frank, please?
His pills are in his back left pocket.
Yeah, but if he needs his insulin, let me know. I actually took a couple of his syringes. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, I know mouth to mouth if you need me to do that kind of thing. So call me, Paul. Man.
All right. And that is going to be fielded from the 4-yard line. Shi Smith going to be stopped shy of the 25 down to the 23-yard line. And the Panthers are going to take over with a bigger deficit than we had hoped after this defense just let this offense walk down the field with little resistance.
Yeah, I mean, really not much resistance, man. This offense for the Bengals, they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah, they don't have much along the lines of problems. They haven't thrown toward JC Horn. Madden seems to really respect him, but anybody else in this defense, they don't. Oh my gosh. Chuba Hubbard drops the ball. Again, stop throwing to a guy who is known to drop the ball. Here they are doing that again. And this could be partially my fault. Maybe I didn't do something right. He's in here when he shouldn't be. Deontay Foreman, I think, would be a better back, even in Madden's eyes, if I had to guess. But here he is in the backfield. If we lose, we'll just blame it on Madden not listening to me. PJ finds his guy on the boundary as Ian Thomas gets another 4 yards there, but it brings up 3rd and 6.
Man, let me tell you, Bryce Young, he's playing in a game right now where he's going to have to show off some first-round traits. And he's made some big throws, but right now LSU is back on top. Alabama has only 4 minutes left to go. It's been a fun day in college football, CK.
Yeah, and PJ Walker is going to be, and he slides short of the first down marker. You can't do that when it's 3rd down. Again, Madden, absolute garbage.
And it looked like he tackled him as he was going to slide.
Yeah, that's been a common denominator when it comes to this Madden simulations. They don't tend to throw the flag for those types of things. That was an absolute horrendous decision. And CJ Henderson down there to get the stop again. They're going to give the Bengals back the ball on their own 18-yard line. And not ideal.
No. Not at all. And yes, the game is on right now.
It's just a simulation. It's just Madden.
Nope, this is it. This is the game. They decided to play it earlier. This is the one. This is a live stream. That's what you come to C3 for. Oh, how bad is this going to be?
And and Ioannidis finds a way to make forces him to throw the ball away. Almost got home there.
So someone asked us for our predictions
for
in
this
the
game?
chat room. And I said on the free for all, I said 30-10, and I really believed it, man. Like, I think our defense can really hurting on this Bengals offense. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel good about it.
I don't think you're wrong, but I also think it has the potential to go the opposite way as well. The unfortunate thing is they have 3 number 1 wide receivers. One of them is out, luckily, but that still leaves T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and both of those guys are high-quality wide receiver talent. And if they're able to stay healthy throughout that game, it could be a long day for one of these guys, either Dante Jackson or C.J. Henderson. I think J.C. Horn is going to be respected tomorrow. Just moving the ball up the field. They started on the 18. They're already down to the 41-yard line. They've gotten 23 yards in a matter of 3 plays. The Bengals are not slowing down. My prediction on the Friday free for all was the Bengals beating the Panthers beating the Bengals 14-10. I felt like it has the potential to be a low scoring affair, but I also just said that I think that it could be a blowout, either for the Panthers or the Bengals. But I think this has the makings to be a potential blowout one way or another. And if Madden has their way, it's going to be the Bengals.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Madden has such respect for this offensive line for the Bengals. They refuse to adjust their ratings based on how the season has played out. But again, Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. I think nobody's going to be able to deny that. He had a rough beginning of the season this year, but I think that's to be expected. They have that Super Bowl hangover. I think that is a real thing. Joe Burrow is firing up based on Madden's little red X there. So got to be careful. Could be a deep ball that, right across the middle. All you got to do if you're playing the Carolina Panthers defense in Madden is just throw short, shallow crossers across the middle. And you're going to be able to win against this defense every second of every day because the Panthers defense apparently in Madden is absolutely inept across the middle.
Yeah, and I feel like that could be a strength of ours, you know? Yeah, they're really letting him do some nice things.
And another big time throw. Where else but across the middle as he's able to get another 6 yards there. And they are really knocking on the door to make this another 3-possession game as the fourth quarter is right upon us. They'll get one more snap before the end of this half or end of this quarter. And the Panthers' time is slowly running out. And that's a big play by Brian Burns. He's able to get this tackle for a loss of about 3 on that one. 3rd and 7 now as we go into the fourth quarter.
Our best defensive play all day.
Mm-hmm. If you can stop him here, you have a bit of an opportunity, but at any rate, it's still a 3-possession game one way or another. So not great for the outlook of the Panthers winning this game here in the Madden Sim, but they also had the Panthers winning last week against the Falcons. That didn't work out. It should have worked out, but it didn't, unfortunately, as the Panthers lost that game. The time of possession is so favorable to the Bengals in this simulation as well. And they get the first down down to the 29-yard or 20-yard line. It's a first down with a 9-yard play there on the back of a coverage by Dante Jackson.
Yeah, and that seems to be the case. Either Dante or CJ seems to be the one giving up the plays.
And they're running the clock out. That's what you want to have. If you're an offense like the Bengals, just get the ball, get the first down, run this clock down as much as possible before making it a 3-possession game. And they are doing just that as this clock is ticking.
Yeah.
You're going to motion out Mixon. And he's going to have a guy across the middle again here, it looks like. Yep. And unstoppable when you're talking about just sitting down in those zones. This defense playing so soft and giving these guys an easy completion across the middle. These simulations have been so predictable, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's just no opposition to whatever they want to do, you know? And they can just move however they want to.
And they are stopping them short there with only a 5-yard gain. But you got to think at this point in time, them scoring a touchdown is inevitable unless something, drastic changes here. And all that's happening now is more time is clicking off of the scoreboard as the Panthers' hopes of winning this game and going 3-5 are slowly evaporating.
Panther Pickle says EA hasn't updated the roster since October 13th.
Interesting throwaway there. 3rd down, 4 yards to go. And if Panthers can hold them to a field goal here, that's what you hope to see. Yeah, unfortunately, they haven't updated it. They haven't done a tremendous job. And I think they've been probably reeling from the trades that have happened. They've probably got to do a couple of adjustments there and whatever they have to do. But for this being such a cash cow, they do nothing to... Oh, and a fumble. Mixon picks it up. And they do stop them short.
Man,
almost big time play. All right, and that's going to take this down to about 7.5 minutes left to go in the last quarter here before the game is over, and the Panthers are going to be down 31-14 with very little hope of winning this game.
Yeah, it's pretty helpless.
And Joe Mixon with a great awareness there to pick that ball up.
He said tackled the cheerleader. Oh.
Gotta hope they block it here. And nope, it is going to be a field goal. And the Bengals just put this game pretty much out of reach for the Panthers at this point in time. Bama is not good. What happened?
It's about to be a big time 4th down here with I think like 29 seconds left. LSU is going to win by 3 points. So they're trying to tie it. If Alabama gets this field goal, then they could go to overtime. 46-yard field goal up. Is good. Tie ball game in Baton Rouge. Wow. Wow, big time play.
Shi Smith takes it up to the 26-yard line, almost breaks another tackle, but gives this offense an opportunity here to try to drive down and make this a 2-possession score if they can do so. But again, 7.5 minutes left to score another score. 17 more points is going to be hard. Not impossible, but quite difficult.
Yeah. And by the way,
especially with the way that Madden handles time.
Yeah. I would just like to clarify something, especially since me and Monty are going to be doing our debate next Friday. I don't think Bryce Young is a bad football player. I have never said that, and I will never say that. I just think that it is reasonable to wonder what he's going to look like against an NFL defense when he doesn't have Alabama talent around him. And I know everyone's saying Alabama doesn't have the greatest team. They may not have a good team to Alabama standards, but they still have a pretty damn good football team. You're going to have to build up a really good team around Bryce Young. Not saying that it can't happen, but another overall point is I don't think the Panthers are going to be in position to draft a Bryce Young, CK. Maybe we do, but if Houston and Detroit are picking number 1 and number 2, I just don't see a scenario that we're going to be able to pick them because we're not going to be able to trade into those spots either.
We'll have a better opportunity with the draft picks we have, but unfortunately, guys like Detroit are so hungry for a quarterback that's the guy.
Yeah.
I think that they're not going to pass up that opportunity as DJ Moore gets another pass out there, his second reception of the game. And that's what you're hoping to see on a third down. Unfortunately, not great for those first 2 plays, but able to connect it there. But yeah, I think Detroit is going to be hungry for a guy. I think Washington, unfortunately, is going to be really hungry for the guy. They've been looking for a guy for a long time. It's gone from since RG3. Really, they've gone from one quarterback to the next, to the next, to the next, and not any one of them have been the answer. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. That was the guy they thought could have been. What the heck was that? Looked
Terrible,
like Chuba Hubbard couldn't get off of his block somehow. I don't know that there's many teams that need a quarterback that aren't going to be willing, that are going to be willing to trade up or trade back. I think you're going to have these guys. Oh, PJ Walker making the moves, and he's going to hold on to the ball this time. Gets it across that marker, and it's going to be a first down. But yeah, these guys are not going to be trading back. They're going to be looking for that guy that's going to be pushing them into the future. Detroit has a lot of pieces, and they're hoping that they can find the guy moving forward, because in their eyes, they feel like they're just a few pieces away, similar to the Panthers. The same thing with the Redskins, or the Washington Commanders rather. And I think that they feel like they're just a few pieces away. They have really important pieces like Terry McLaurin. You have Chase Young. That defense has a lot of superstars on it. PJ Walker running again, and he gets the first down. You got to hurry up here. They've taken too much time off the clock. It's been a minute and a half already. They're down to the 33-yard line. PJ Walker needs to stop motioning for the first down there and get back to the line of scrimmage and get this ball down the field.
Yeah, he does. And I petition to run with PJ Walker on every play.
We would not take a Derek Carr, by the way. We would not. We are tired of the recycling of old quarterbacks at this point in time. We need to go with fresh blood and hope that they can revitalize the franchise that's been in need of quarterback play since Cam Newton was the guy. And Chuba, following his blockers, gets another 7 yards there. That screenplay, lucky to get that one out in time.
Yeah, I mean, man, 14 points. That's tough. That's tough. That's all Madden thinks that we're capable.
Well, and PJ Walker just going to be scrambling right into and he fumbles it again. Lucky that we had him. He's able to get that. Brady Christensen is able to get on top of that one. 3rd and 2 now. And this clock is ticking away.
Yeah, and look, something that people have to realize about this quarter last too. I see Jordan and Pickle talking about it. Like, all of these quarterbacks have a certain flaw about their game that that is going to give you hesitation. You know, with Bryce, it's being 5'11", 285 pounds, maybe 290. You know,
185.
He's like really, he's not a big guy, you know. But listen, I'm also not denying his incredible playmaking ability. You know, CJ Stroud is in a very beneficial offense, and at times he has looked kind of touchy throwing the football. But at the same time, he also makes some throws that are just absolutely incredible looking. So
yeah,
it's not like he doesn't have the arm talent to make those throws, because he definitely does. Also, CJ Stroud played in some pretty bad weather today. It was a lot of rain, a lot of wind.
Nice.
What was PJ even doing with that?
Nice decision to throw that away as opposed to take the sack there.
Yeah. And Will Levis, a lot of people down on Will Levis. I'm telling you, that offense is not an offense in which a quarterback isn't going to look good throwing the football. Now, I'm not making excuses for Levis. Levis has some inaccuracies, but I'm saying it's hard to be an accurate quarterback when you're not being asked to throw it at a high clip, and your receivers are not making a lot of separation. I'm not saying that Levis will equal a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert, but it was very similar in their offense in that they had to be able to make the plays on their own, and there wasn't a lot of exterior help all around them. Even with Hooker is going to be just as old as Joe Burrow when he's drafted. So, you know.
And a touchdown by DJ Moore, caught with about 5 defenders on top of him. Great catch and throw and catch there by PJ Walker and DJ Moore.
Where's that been all game?
That has been, unfortunately, in the back of the Cody.
Yeah. And also another thing, CK, on this college quarterback front, everybody's already doing it. Next year, they're going to have Drake May from UNC come available, Caleb Williams from USC, Southern California, and these guys are big, tall, big-time arm talent.
That was a lot of time taken off the clock for that drive. 4 minutes out of that quarter for that drive, and taking a little bit too much for each play to get up to the line and get that ball snapped. But they were able to accomplish what they needed to, which was getting the touchdown. 3.5 minutes left. It's not impossible, but surely a tough task here. Starts with stopping the Cincinnati Bengals here on this first drive. And they're going to try to do the onside kick here, which is a big part of this. If they can make this happen, they don't, and they are going to get it to their guy. And Cincinnati has the ball on the 44-yard line of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. I don't even want to see his stupid face again, man. So, by the way, Pickle did say that if you do a franchise mode, you can fix who the
but you can't simulate it like this, I don't think.
Right. I don't think so either.
Yeah, you have to choose a side. I think if you do that, you're going to be playing from that perspective. So,
yeah, Dopey says Hooker went the best solid Georgia team. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, the whole team has to play. And that Georgia defense, man, they were good in coverage. And that front four, man, Jalen Carter should be the number one player in the draft. How about that? That big freaking defensive tackle in the middle for Georgia. Man, that guy is a monster. Putting him next to Derek Brown, that might not be too bad either, if I'm just being honest with you. But yeah, people are going to really be hesitant about Hendon Hooker's name.
Nice hurdle by Joe Mixon, and that's going to seal up this this victory for the Bengals as they get a first down there. How are we looking? What's this game looking like? Is that it's in overtime now, or they already get that?
Yeah, it's in overtime. Alabama's driving, but LSU just got a pass interference penalty.
Ooh.
Now, again, I'm kind of iffy on the college rules, but I believe if they score a touchdown, LSU gets the opportunity to match that touchdown.
Yeah. Another handoff to Joe Mixon, which you were expecting. And we're now down to the 2-minute warning. They stop him with no gain on that run. I'm only good with drafting an edge rusher if we're drafting in the back half of the draft. If we are drafting top 10, you have to go quarterback.
No matter who?
You have to go quarterback if you're drafting the top 10.
Okay, I respect it.
We have gone too many drafts picking in the top 10, not taking a guy. It is time to take a guy.
But is there any fear that you're going to pick one just to pick one, and that you're not necessarily in love with one, but you're just saying, well, we really got to have one, so let's take a shot?
Do you believe that that any of the guys drafted in the top 10 wouldn't be loved by every single team?
Again, right now, like Jordan's been saying in the chat, while Will Levis has a very high upside, he currently has 16 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
So the numbers don't jump off the screen at you. So there's no, maybe Hendon Hooker, but we've been talking about Matt Corral a lot. Matt Corral came from a very heavy RPO offense where they have an easy time getting receivers open. Touchdown.
Okay.
Thing,
so here's my question to you.
Yeah.
How problematic is it if we don't pick a quarterback and we pick an edge rusher and he's a bust? Because that happens.
I mean, any position that you pick.
But what happens if that happens and Matt Corral is a bust? Then you are absolutely horrendous. Like, you are absolutely screwed. And you're setting yourself back. Or let's say even worse. Let's say Matt Corral is a okay quarterback, but he's not the guy. He's good enough to be able to win some games, but he's not going to be a game changer. He's not a guy that you feel like is going to win you games because he's the guy, right? Well, that's going to leave you picking 15, 16, 17 for perpetually because you got a guy who's winning games, but not enough to make it to the house, right? So Matt Corral, I don't think, again, that's my reasoning for this is I'm not saying that he can't be a guy, but most every single quarterback that is drafted in the NFL has the traits to be the guy. And there's a reason that they're drafted in the 3rd round. There's a reason they're drafted in the 5th round, right? They had a chance.
There is, but it isn't always necessarily correlated to just football stuff. Like injuries was a big part of why Matt Corral fell. And look, that's fair. That's something Matt Corral has to overcome. He has to prove that he can that he can stay healthy a full season, no doubt. That's why, especially if the Panthers continue to do well, CK, I'm a big proponent of PJ Walker starting for us another season, no matter what we do.
If we do well, I agree with that, and that's where my argument is. If we're drafting in the top 10, you cannot take that as an opportunity to just go with Matt Corral. Can you do that? If PJ Walker doesn't want to sign back here next year, or if we look better, but we're still like, we're not great, but we find a way to string some wins together here and we don't make it to the playoffs, but we're picking number 16, 17, then sure, let Matt Corral be the guy. But if we're drafting top 10, I don't care what the circumstances are. If you love a guy, then you push yourself to try to win that, like go and move up in the draft and get that person. Right. If you're drafting top 10, you have that opportunity. If you're drafting 16, it's going to be a little harder to make that happen.
I also just wonder about these college quarterbacks. You know, pretty much, I would say that none of them are probably in a great position to come in and start right away.
Right.
You know, I mean, from top to bottom. I mean, maybe I'll give Bryce that. He's probably from an intelligence level, he's probably the best equipped to start right now, just when it comes to reading defenses. But outside of him, I think it's reasonable to assume they would need a little bit of time before they're able to really step into an NFL offense.
Right.
Another thing, CK, is that if we end up retaining Steve Wilks, and again, all this is ifs. There's so much unknowns left to be
right.
But if we do retain Steve Wilks and Ben McAdoo, well, then PJ Walker and Ben McAdoo are now going to be in their second. PJ Walker, Matt Corral are going to be in their second year of a Ben McAdoo playbook,
right?
Where they do know the plays and where they do know the offensive things. So, I'm by no means against the competition at all. If you have a shot, take your shot. Add Will Levis, see what he's capable of. But I think there needs to be a legitimate quarterback competition, and I think the best player needs to win.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're going to have this time clock all the way down. They're not going to have time to stop this. Unfortunately, Madden is the worst. When you have 10 seconds, you should have time to stop the clock. They don't give them the time in this. Yeah, they're horrendous. Not that it mattered. We lost that game anyway. But yeah, I mean, I want to make this abundantly clear. And this is the whole thing with the whole Bryce Young, right? And this is the whole thing with Matt Corral. A lot of people want to point out the exceptions, right? Like, we can talk about Matt Corral being in the third round, and like, listen, we've had people who were drafted in the second, third, fourth round go on to be franchise quarterbacks. That is the exception. That doesn't happen very often. Quite honestly, it happens so infrequently that it's pretty important to realize that that's not going to happen, right? It should be something that you just accept it's not going to be the case, right? Now it's possible, sure, and that's the part of it that a lot of people want to hold on to. We can hold on to the fact that Tom Brady was drafted 199, like one of our viewers were mentioning before. How many other quarterbacks have been drafted at 199 and been a guy like Tom Brady? None. There hasn't happened. How many guys have been short like Drew Brees and played like Drew Brees? None. That's why Drew Brees was Drew Brees. You cannot rely on the fact that maybe he's going, like, look at Baker. A lot of people would have said, like, oh, he's got the flashes, he's got the arm strength, but here he is. He's looking like absolute garbage, right? And he's short. He doesn't have the speed. You can sit there and put these traits of other quarterbacks into the equation. Unfortunately, that's the exception. You cannot base the future of your franchise on the exception. You've got to go based on the rule. And that is where it's important. And my rule on this, Why Big Jordan, for Matt Corral is he was drafted in the third round. And that's not because he's just drafted in the third round. It's that he not only was drafted in the third round, he was like the fifth quarterback taken or fourth quarterback taken. What did you have? Willis, you had Desmond, you had Pickett. Wasn't there somebody else that was picked after before him, or was it just those three?
Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, and Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
Kenny Pickett, right? Three guys who, by the way, came into this season not slated to start for their teams, and two have not. And one of those guys hasn't started behind Marcus Mariota, and the other guy wasn't slated to start behind Mitchell Trubisky, right? So, I mean, you're not talking about world beaters. These guys, like, you're talking about the guy who was fourth off the board behind these three guys. That means there were so many teams that passed on him that were quarterback hungry. The Detroit Lions, you had the Atlanta Falcons, who, by the way, had no quarterback at this point. They passed on him all the way into the third round, and they got their guy, right? So that's where I'm talking about. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Just don't expect it, because it's probably not going to happen and has a low chance of it taking place. That's my argument. So that's where the rule and the exception comes into play. I'm tired of playing games based on the exception.
There's all legitimate criticism still to be had.
Sure.
I disagree with you a little. I mean, I hear everything that you're saying. I just, like I said, the main legit criticism on Matt Corral has been his injury history. If you look at his numbers in the past 2 years that he was playing, he had the most touchdowns and passing yards of any quarterback in the SEC. He had, if you combined his past 2 years.
Right.
So he does have a lot of talent. Even after the seventh in Heisman voting, so he's still got votes. By the way, LSU just won the game in overtime.
Wow.
LSU went for 2 points and they made it. LSU just beat Alabama. Wow, man, how about that? Tennessee loses today. My Clemson Tigers lose today. And Alabama gets knocked off, man. That's what a crazy day in college football. But to finish what I was saying, CK, I just, I believe that Matt Corral, that third round label, while it might be, out of the norm that he might be able to do something like that, I think that Matt Corral has all the requisite talent. He has the arm to really push the ball downfield. He's on record throwing the ball 77 yards. He's very mobile, is a willing runner, will run around, can move around in the pocket. And quarterbacks like Josh Allen have shown you that if you have any type of accuracy issues, you can change your throwing motion, your hips. You can do things to improve your accuracy. And I think from a physical prospect perspective, he is very similar to a Bryce Young. He doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the Heisman, but he does have all the physical talent that Bryce Young does. It's going to be interesting, man. And, we still have to look out for PJ Walker, because he might be trying to shut all of us up. Right. He might tell us, hey, man, I'm the long-term starter for the Carolina Panthers. So,
and that could happen. And I'm willing to eat that crow, just like I'm eating the crow on Baker Mayfield. Yep. I didn't want to trade for Baker Mayfield. If you guys recall, I said, don't trade. I'm tired of this. And we traded for him, and I chose to be excited about it, right? I let myself become optimistic, similar to how I am with PJ Walker. And my argument for the conversation that we're having is in why Big Jordan. He's saying, where was this energy with Baker? My energy is because of Baker. I am tired of this. I am tired of trying to get excited over a guy who has no business being excited over. That's my point. If we are in a position to be able to take a quarterback, you go for a quarterback. At this point in time, you cannot roll the dice on a guy like Matt Corral to be the person, especially if you have an opportunity for a guy in the draft who could be a franchise quarterback. That's my point, and that's where I'm sticking. You're not going to be able to change my mind outside of us not picking in the top 10. I don't want to be moving up for a guy that you're not in love with. If you're outside of the top 10, it's going to be too expensive. But if you're in that top 10 and you want to move up 2-3 spots to make that happen because of the draft capital we were able to acquire with Christian McCaffrey trade, then do it. But if you aren't drafted in the top 10, I'm fine with us going a different route. But I'm tired of being in the top 10 and not taking a quarterback.
I hear you, CK, and I can't tell you you're wrong. I've been a proponent of taking the quarterback the last few drafts. I just think it's possible that you can end up reaching for a quarterback if you're too hungry. And, I mean, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Kenny Pickett is not ready to be a professional football player.
Well, think about this.
And therefore, he had to be this year.
There were a lot of people thinking we were going to take Malik in the top 10.
There was buzz, yeah.
There were people who really thought that we were going to take him in that top 10 spot. And thank God we didn't, because think about how stupid we would look that he went down to the third round. Like, that's how bad that would look. that I'm glad that we went the route we did. I think it's going to be better for the long term for us. But damn, I tell you what, it's one of those things. Icky honestly, I think that was the only option when you think about it. And he has been such a rock star for this offensive line. He started out rough, but man, I'm excited for what this team. That's why I'm excited to get a franchise quarterback. I am tired of recycling quarterbacks. We have everything we need on this offense, maybe barring a tight end. Unless Tommy Tremble turns out to be the guy, which I think if you give him a shot, he will be. But we have everything you need. Again, running back TBD, but that's easily replaced. If Deontay Foreman's able to be that guy, we'll find out. But I'm ready to see a quarterback come in here to a situation that allows them to thrive. I'm so tired of quarterbacks that have such potential going to shitty teams that have no business having a quarterback on their team yet.
Yeah. And Pickle makes the point. Malik Willis got a start the other day in place of Tannehill, and Willis didn't look great. So
they didn't really put a lot on his hands, though. They ran the ball a ton. Yeah. I think he passed for like 10 total pass attempts. Like it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, he's not comfortable in that offense yet. He hasn't been asked to run that offense yet.
Well, even when he did come in, I think earlier in the year as well, he looked really bad. So I'm glad we didn't go that route. Again, hindsight's 2020. In that moment, we all fell in love with his arm from this pro day and all that stuff. But hey, like I said, I'm willing to, if we're drafting low enough, I'm willing to roll the dice with Matt Corral and go forward with him and like let him try to be the guy. But I cannot get over the idea of drafting top 10 and not going quarterback at this point.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, Madden has spoken.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think this is prophetic this week. I really don't. I like our chances tomorrow. How do you feel? Do you feel like we're gonna come out and assert ourselves? Like how are you feeling?
I don't know. I would love to say we come out here and assert ourselves, but there's only two people on that defensive line that I feel like have the potential to get pressure, and I think it's more likely only one when you think about Brian Burns. I think Derek Brown is a great run stopper, and he's able to make big plays happen when they're needed. I don't think he's consistently getting pressure up the middle. But that's not to be expected from a defensive tackle like him anyway. He's not a defensive tackle like Aaron Donald. He is a defensive tackle that is meant to eat up space, be super strong, and when a runner runs past him, to be able to just stick your arm out and just clothesline that motherfucker, right? And that's what he's been doing. He's been able to do it very well this year. So I want to say that we're going to be able to get home, but I just don't. Outside of Brian Burns, they're going to put so much pressure on him, or so many people on him. I don't know that we're going to be able to get home. And if we're not getting pressure up the middle, we're in for a long day, because they still have great wide receivers. I think it's going to be a close game, and it might not be it's going to be, I don't know, man. I'm going back and forth. I'm so non-committal on this. I think it's going to be a blowout. I'm going to change my answer. I think it's going to be a blowout, and I don't know who it goes for. I wanted to go for the Panthers, but I have a bad suspicion that it's going to be one of those games you want to forget.
I'm feeling good, baby. I'm going with the Panthers. I think we can do it, man. I don't see them as a team that's markedly better than us. They have Joe Burrow, and we know what Joe Burrow is capable of doing. But I'm telling you, man, that last Monday night, that offense looks anemic without Jamar Chase. Dude. So, I don't know, man. Based on what PJ was able to do in the offense, getting the ball to Terrace Marshall Jr. and DJ Moore, even Tommy Tremble into some, who we're starting to see more. Yeah, I like our chances, man. I really do.
Yeah, dude. I feel you. But as we said, Madden has spoken. They've given their opinion on how they think that this is going to go. They've been about 50-50 so far this year on their predictions. So it could really go either way. But as of right now, we're all going to be watching, hoping the Panthers pull out a win, unless you're one of the tankers and you're hoping that this goes the wrong way. And in that case, either way, there's a win involved for the Panthers one way or another, whether you look at it as a positive that we won or a positive that we lost. It's a win-win either way. So that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the Madden simulation. And we will see you guys tomorrow after the game for the post-game show. Keep an eye out for that notification. Cody, do you have anything else to add?
No, man. Great day of college football. We'll be back tomorrow for the post-game show, where we will be reacting to all the action of the Carolina Panthers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody, enjoy your night. Have a safe night. No drinking and driving. And C3 Panther Nation, you already know what we're going to do. Keep pounding.